The worst among us often seem to triumph, yet life settles it dead quietly, away from public eyes. A Stoic doesn't chase revenge. He watches. While you find peace in healing, karma works silently, never erring. You might think they've escaped lies, betrayal, manipulation unscathed. They walk away as if untouched. But something has shifted. Life now speaks to them in karma's silent language. Whispers only. They feel daily. In this video, you'll discover 5 subtle signs someone is facing the consequences of how they treated you, not in public, not in courts, but in their private lives, their minds. In quiet moments when no one sees, this isn't about vengeance, it's about truth. Truth speaks louder than any shout. Its silence weighs heavier than pretense. Karma ignoris facadis. Karma moves through emotions when no one's watching. The first sign it's at work is when they act like life's never been better. The one who betrayed your trust, who dragged you down, now shines brightly, posting daily smiles, laughing in places you never shared, with people who weren't there when you were. Don't fall for it. Their curated moments might make you think they're thriving without you. But here's the truth. Real happiness doesn't need a stage. Fake happiness demands it. You've seen this before. They go quiet after the fallout, then explode with performative joy. Suddenly, it's a flood of photos, stories, and inspirational quotes, fake selfies, a campaign to seem radiant. One moment they're destroying something real. The next, they're posting number healing with someone new, as if guilt never touched them. Look closely, their smiles too wide, their eyes distant, their energy frantic. True peace doesn't scream, insecurity does. Epictetus taught us that what matters isn't what happens to you, but how you respond. Marcus Aurelius reminds us the best revenge is to rise above those who hurt you. A Stoic doesn't argue or stalk their story for closure. He observes. Knowing peace is his strength. True peace doesn't perform. It simply exists. The harder they try to prove they've moved on, the more they reveal they haven't. Karma doesn't announce itself. It arrives each night as they lie awake. Realizing the person they've become is why they lost someone who cared deeply. No post, no forced joy. No new partner can silence a conscience that knows it broke something real. Let them smile for the camera, you know the truth. The heaviest lie is pretending you're at peace when you're not. Karma starts as a slow erosion, stripping away what they thought was theirs forever. The second sign karma's working is when life begins reclaiming what they took for granted. You might expect karma to strike loudly: accidents, heartbreak, betrayal. But it's subtler, more precise. It doesn't shout. It subtracts quietly. So slowly, they barely notice at first. Small losses pile up. A friend stops replying. A colleague withdraws trust. An opportunity slips away without reason. They brush it off as life's randomness, bad luck, mere coincidence. But the pattern persists, undeniable, until they stand amid the ruins of what they once mocked or ignored. They may have called you overly emotional, accused you of caring too much, or dismissed your reactions as excessive. Yet you were the one who cared with your whole heart. You stayed up late, offering comfort when they were broken, forgiving their lapses, believing in them when they doubted themselves. And how did they repay you? With scorn, mocking your loyalty as clinginess, your care as weakness. They took your presence for granted, not as a gift. So you stopped giving. You stopped fighting for someone who never showed up for you. And quietly, you walked away. At first, they felt free, unburdened, victorious. But then the silence grew loud. Message dwindled. Their circle shrank. The people they trusted turned out to be like them, selfish, dismissive, transactional. Suddenly, the choices they thought they had vanished. The support they once took for granted is gone. The comfort of someone who truly cared is irreplaceable. No one can fill the space you held, especially not someone new who only knows their polished, pretending self. Karma doesn't just take away things, it reveals what they've lost. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Don't waste time debating what a good man should be. Be one." Karma restores balance by stripping away what doesn't align with truth. When someone wrongs a good man, they betray not just you, but the best version of themselves, once capable of peace, patience, and depth. Karma doesn't always punish with loud suffering. It shows them what they've lost, forcing them to live without it. Every room feels colder. Every new bond more fragile. Every victory hollow. Deep down, they know they once held something precious and let it slip away. Let them lose it. Let them learn. Let them see that nothing in this world is as sacred as what they had with you. Karma doesn't just take material things. It takes the version of themselves that knew your love. No matter how they try to rebuild, that peace is gone forever. The third sign karma's at work is when you linger in their thoughts. Unspoken, but ever present. They'll never say your name aloud, but their vague social media posts about betrayal, loyalty, or moving on point to you. They're shouting into the void, hoping you'll hear. They post cryptic quotes. Some people never see what they've lost. Or, not everyone deserves my energy. At first, it seems random, but you know their patterns. You feel the guilt beneath their words. You've lived their habits. Those posts are bullets wrapped in poetry, aimed at you without naming you. They're not healed. They're haunted. Their words betray a restless conscience, cloaked in vague poetry. You know their cadence, their tells. You've felt their turmoil. Those posts sting like veiled confessions, each one echoing your presence without daring to name you. This isn't strength or closure. It's a crumbling ego crying out through cracks of guilt. Others may miss it, but you don't. You loved them enough to know their silences. Now those silences scream back at them, a relentless echo of their own making. Karma doesn't always strike with events. Sometimes it's an obsession, uncontrollable thoughts, regrets they can't swallow, memories they can't escape. A Stoic doesn't retaliate or match their veiled barbs. He stays silent, letting their own words reveal their unrest. Epictetus said, "Live, so no one believes the slander against you. Don't respond to their veiled attacks. Don't explain or defend. Their cryptic words only expose their truth. The more they speak in circles, the more they confess they're still tethered to you. You've moved on, but they haven't. Let them post their half-truths and twisted tales. Let them shout to mask their lack of peace. You don't need to haunt their life. You already live in their mind. That's karma's quiet prison. Loudest when you refuse to look back. Silence speaks louder than any retort. When you betray a good man, you don't just lose him, you lose trust in others. And, worse, in yourself. The fourth sign karma's at work is when they shut down, no longer believing in anyone, not even their own heart. It starts as self-protection. They shrink their circle, close their heart, and claim, "I don't trust anyone anymore." They call others fake. But it's not strength. It's fear, born in the shadow of their guilt. You've seen it. They weren't always this guarded. Once, they laughed freely, trusted easily, spoke without weight. But after what they did to you, something shifted inside. Now they question every motive, expect betrayal before trust, and scrutinize every word, and pause, fearing others might mirror their own past actions. Why? Because they know the pain they're capable of inflicting. When you've hurt someone who didn't deserve it, you start believing everyone else can destroy you too. Karma's deepest cut is self-doubt. Not loud, ruin, a quiet erosion of their inner peace. The voice that once boasted control now whispers, "Maybe I'm the problem." That thought is a torment no quiet room can soothe. Seneca said, "The guilty rarely trust others, for they know their own capacity." Their mistrust is karma's private justice, eating away within. Stoics know peace is tied to conscience. Betray your values, and you lose not just others, but yourself. Karma's punishment isn't always visible. It's a restless unease, a tightness in the chest when life feels too perfect, a whisper that you're unworthy. That nagging voice grows louder in silence. It questions their worth, their motives, their place. Let them wrestle with that doubt. Let them fear the shadows they cast on others. Karma doesn't just haunt with memories, it steals peace through creeping suspicion. The harshest prison isn't behind bars. It's a conscience-turned jailer. If they can't trust, don't pity them. Don't fix them. Don't return to prove not everyone betrays. Your role isn't to save those who chose destruction. You offered truth. They chose betrayal. Now karma delivers what they earned. Not chaos, not drama, but a quiet collapse of their own making. It doesn't roar, it reflects, bringing them face to face with themselves. The fifth sign, karma's at work, is when life sends them a mirror, a person who echoes their past wrongs. It's not just a bad relationship or a wrong person, it's a living reflection of their own actions. It arrives softly, charmingly, just as they once won your trust. At first, it feels like fate, a connection too perfect, too intense, too meant to be. They believe they've found the one. The spark feels destined, the bond electric. But they're not falling for someone new. They're caught in karma's loop. This person isn't their savior. They're a mirror, showing them who they were when they hurt you. This time, they're not in control. They once made you doubt, feel less than enough. They speed your efforts. Now they chase texts that go unanswered, wait for calls that never come, post for attention that's met with silence. They played games with you, now they're played. They felt powerful, toying with your heart, hot and cold. Now they're burned by someone else's indifference, drowned in fleeting affection, then dismissed as too sensitive. They mocked your vulnerabilities. Now their openness is ridiculed. They discarded your loyalty. Now they beg for commitment from someone half gone. At first, they rationalize. This person's just troubled, misunderstood. But deep down, a chilling truth dawns. This is what I did to someone else. They won't admit it aloud, but the thought haunts them in quiet moments. In the pause before sleep, in the ache of another failed connection, Their pain isn't random or mere bad luck. It's a pattern, a poetic justice. Marcus Aurelius said, "The best revenge is to be unlike your enemy." The universe doesn't seek vengeance, it seeks balance, showing them the pain they caused through someone they can't control. This isn't punishment, it's perspective. The lesson hits hardest when felt, not taught. They laughed at your care. Now they weep for someone who ignores them. They dismissed your needs. Now they're labeled needy by someone stingy with affection. They walked away like you were nothing. Now they beg for someone to stay, to answer, to try. That shrug they get in return stings. Slowly, painfully. They see it not just hurt, but a mirror reflecting their own actions, undeniable and unsparing. Let them face their match. Let them feel the confusion, the powerlessness, the ache of being seen, used, and discarded just as they did to you. This time, there's no one to blame, no story to twist, because the one hurting them isn't a villain, it's their own shadow. This isn't revenge, it's reflection. Karma doesn't destroy, it reveals. When they ask, "Why is this happening to me?" the answer is clear. You're not being punished, you're being shown. You don't need to fight those already battling themselves. Karma needs no help from you. It doesn't require your retaliation, your proof, or your pleas for the world to see your worth. It asks only one thing: your silence, your calm, your refusal to stoop to their level. That's where your power lies. While they're trapped in lies and schemes, you've stepped into clarity. Karma isn't just what happens to them, it's what happens to you. When you let go, you don't need closure anymore. Your peace becomes your resolution, unshaken by their chaos. You don't need justice, for time reveals all. You don't need them to feel your pain. Life teaches its own lessons. Your task isn't to punish, but to rise, to grow steady and strong, so no one can disturb your inner calm, not even their shadow. That's the Stoic path. We don't curse our enemies or chase validation. We walk forward, fortified by discipline that karma respects. If someone hurt you, never apologized, and acted like you didn't matter, let them go. Their freedom is an illusion. They're haunted by the truth they can't silence. Liars may sleep soundly when deceiving others, but those who lie to themselves never rest. If this resonates, don't waste energy on the past. Share below which words hit deepest, and let others know they're not alone. If you're walking this path of quiet strength, join Think Stoic 101. We don't just talk about healing, we train the mind to lead, not react. We forge clarity, discipline, and unshakable peace. Let karma do its work while you become untouchable. Keep rising, becoming the man they can never reach again. This isn't vengeance, it's evolution. The world watches in silence, for such growth speaks louder than any noise, resonating with the quiet power of a life well lived.